hanggang sa Linggo, makikilala natin dito sa Farmers Plaza ang bago nating kasosyo sa asenso at katuwang sa negosyo, ang bagong Toyota Light Ace.
Samahan niyo po ang mga kaibigan natin dito sa Toyota Motor Philippines, dito sa Farmers Plaza. Nandito po kami mula today hanggang July 17. Bisitahin niyo po kami, kilalanin ang bagong Toyota Light Ace. Kasosyo mo sa asenso, katuwang sa negosyo.
Wow, ang galing naman ng Toyota Motor Philippines. And kahit na 22nd na ngayon at hindi na sila makikita sa Toyota Cubao, I'm sure you can go to any Toyota outlet to check out the new Light Ace. And dahil wais mag-invest sa negosyo, wais then to invest in yourself and to keep on learning. And that's why we're here gathered today. This afternoon, it's Friday, yay! And we have a very serious topic, which is enabling the business, empowering the entrepreneurs through the creation of a good business plan. So this is Cherry Kaluya, your facilitator for this afternoon. I am a managing partner at 8 Magis Business Perspectives. That's a business consulting firm which a few friends of mine shared and established in 2019. I used to work with big Filipino companies such as Goldilocks, Smart Communications, Jollibee, Greenwich Pizza, among others. They are Filipino names that have gone global and have earned the respect of many countries around the world. So, without further ado, let's get this started so that your TGIF can start soon. So again, good afternoon. I'm here to talk about the business plan essentials and what you need to get your business into a very good start. Our agenda for this afternoon, first we will discuss what a business plan is and why you need it, the basics of starting a business. I know that as entrepreneurs, you probably encountered this a lot before, but let me ask you, do you actually have a business plan written down? So let's tackle that and let's dissect what a business plan is supposed to made up for. So it sort of demystifies the document of a business plan. Next, how do I start writing my business plan? A new business plan begins with an idea. Let's see how you got yours. I'm sure your idea for your business came from similar insights as the others. Next, what makes a good business plan? What are the components and how do I create my own business plan? Because your business plan will never look like the other guy's business plan. It is customized to suit your needs. And lastly, what are the things that are often overlooked when writing a business plan? This is very Pinoy and very real, and I'm sure a lot of you will be able to relate with it. So ano nga ba ang isang business plan? Much as there is a lot of interest in creating a business plan, I'm sure there is also a lot of hesitation. Bakit? Parang napakahirap ba? If you ask a person, it can be simple, but it might be a burden to someone who is so busy. Don't see it as a burden. So we'll try to make the discussion light so that you will actually want to write your own business plan, okay? And the purpose is, if you have a business plan well written, it frees up a lot of your time to be able to devote your energy to other more important stuff. So what is a business plan? What's the definition? If you go through the different readings on what a business plan is, you'll probably come across something like this. A business plan is a master document, a roadmap, a business guide. Whatever it is, it has to be written. So it is a written document. Hindi pwede yung sabihin ng isang negosyante, mayroon ka bang business plan? Well, meron akong business at meron akong plano. That, my dear, is not a business plan. Until you sit down and painstakingly document the different components of a business plan, you do not have a business plan. So that's good. You have it in your head, put it down in writing. Okay. So ano nga ba ang isang business plan? Hold on, my slide is naghahang. So regardless of definition, it certainly is the foundation that makes sure that the business makes money, creates value, and that it survives long enough to create even more value, because you know that with more value comes more money. Hold on, my slides got stuck. Okay, there you are. So you document the details of your company's objectives, how you plan to achieve your goals, and you lay out a written roadmap for marketing, finance, and operations concerns. And a business plan is needed by both startups and established companies. Don't think that just because companies are big, they do away with the business plan. That's not true. In fact, you will see later on that it is a handbook that continues to evolve as the business evolves. When do you write your business plan? Usually, this is a question that people ask. Of course, definitely, you write your business plan when you're starting a new business. You also write it when you're targeting growth and you want to attract new investors, right? Like for Nakakalocal, we want businesses and consumers to love local and for us to be able to grow global. And sometimes in order to grow, you need to partner with investors as well. That requires you to write a very good business plan. And thirdly, it's not just with those objectives, but it forces you to monitor your performance accurately. So when do you write your business plan? You write it regularly, annually, or sometimes even quarterly, if that is what is right for your business. Because it is what you might describe as a living document. Whatever your business is, you have to make it official. Before you sit down and write the business plan, you have to make sure that you have the proper government registration. Very often, especially during the pandemic, a lot of successful businesses sprouted, but they've remained backyard because they have not been able to secure the right registration. Now, I remember some time ago, Senator Bam Aquino partnered with LGUs so that it becomes easy for small and medium business owners to get their business registered. Everything right now, all the information that you need is available online. So make it formal. Don't keep yourself backyard na just as starting sari-sari stores might run their business, no? Even if for now you will start out small. So where do we begin? Let's start. Your business, like I said, starts with an idea. It's either drawn from personal experience, your own expertise, perceived desire or craving, and an unserved or undeserved need. I'll tell you the story of two companies, no? Relatively new companies. One was started by one of my favorite ex-colleagues, Pinky Yee. I believe she's in the panel after this. She founded Live Clean, and that's a line of natural, non-toxic cleaning products from a personal insight and a personal desire. Firstly, she wanted to do away with toxic cleaning substances so that she's able to rid her household of chemicals that may be harmful to the health. Secondly, she wanted something that's sustainable, that doesn't harm the environment. So when I talk about personal experience and a desire, that's normally where you get your ideas. Another company which started its own delivery service or delivery app is Pickup.ph. Pickup was started by a pizza company who was dissatisfied with just having in-house delivery or relying on commercial aggregators. So what is Pickup.ph? It's a free service. You don't pay anything if you're a merchant. You don't pay any extra if you are a customer. So iba ang business model niya, but it started with the perception that there is an unserved or underserved need. And they were dissatisfied with what is available in the market. So that's probably how your business started. If you have a few ideas, you also might want to put it to a test by brainstorming with friends, colleagues, and ex-office mates, as I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs used to come from corporations in different roles. No? I'd like to show you a bit of the framework for ideation that we used for the White Space Club a couple of years ago. It was formulated by our marketing guru, Josiah Go, and he calls it the Man-Smith Innovation on Demand. When you're looking for ideas or solutions to problems, he's guided by the 4 mathematical functions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Simply put, you ask yourself, what can be raised or created? What can be reduced or removed? What can be multiplied, enlarged, or amplified? And what can be grouped or split up? So you can also look at what among these you can combine. So there are many ways to generate ideas. Whatever it is, it will help you start a good business plan. So let's go now to a discussion on what makes a good business plan. Again, there is a standard business plan, but I must confess that when Phil Starr asked me before for a format, because this is supposed to be a workshop, I thought they were asking me for a template for a business plan. And I realized that even if I have so many other clients and I've done so many business plans before, there is no standard, no such thing as standard business plan. So what I did was I researched ano ba among the plans that I made and the plans online are standard, no? And I came up with a few simple components. First, and undisputably included as part of the business plan is the executive summary. We'll go into the definition in a while. Next is an overview of the market and competition, the resources, your marketing plan, and of course, kasama dito yung inyong sales and operations plan, and the financial plan. So these are 5 basic components, and depending on your business, you will have permutations that vary. Some are expanded according to the nature of the business, and some are really just very brief. no? So what's important is you write your plan according to the needs of your business. To give you an example, in the discussion of market and competition, you normally go through industry analysis, market analysis, try to estimate the size of the market, the competitive landscape, and go into an analysis of competition as well. Then you look at resources. Ano ba ang meron ako as an entrepreneur? My organization, the equipment, the facilities that I have or want to have or need to have to get the business running. Who composes the management of my business, the management team? What are my technological platforms and solutions? What are my human resources like? Do I have to IPO, to register intellectual property or trademarks for my products? What about contracts? This is part of my resources. And for the marketing plan, which we will go through in detail later on, syempre, you have to describe what is your product, price, promotion, place, packaging, position, and people, plus your sales and operations plan. And of course, the financial plan. You have to know your profit and loss, your cash flow. You have to have a clear picture of your balance sheet. That's a description of your assets and liabilities, your sales forecast, a break-even analysis, and ROI. Usually, pag sinabi nating ROI, nag-ROI ka ba? Ibig sabihin, nabawi mo na yung puhunan mo. Actually, an ROI is a percentage, no? But we'll go into that a bit later. Firstly, the executive summary. This is common to all. Regardless of what type of business you have, you need to have an executive summary. First, you draft an outline, and then after you do all the other components, babalikan ninyo ang executive summary to make sure that the substance that you put into each component is included in the executive summary. First, you work with a preliminary outline. What do you want your business to accomplish? What do you want to accomplish with your business? And what are the most important components of your business plan? What do you think is the best way to describe your company? Bakit? How will you know if your executive summary is good? And why do you need these to answer these questions properly? If you were a reader who wants to know more about the business, but wala kang time na magbasa, or an investor who's interested, the executive summary must capture all the important components of your business and your business plan. Kaya nga tinawag na summary, di ba? Ito yung, it encapsulates all the different components into a comprehensive, compact, but complete format. Okay. The next component is market and the competition. This will vary depending on the type of business, but let's go through something that's very general, okay? Study the industry as an overall universe and the players in that industry. If you look at the marketplace from that perspective, what's important really is that you see yourself. Nasaan ako dyan sa universe na yan? Where is my product? Where is my brand? The market. You describe the industry. Ano ang estimated size? Oh, nako, hindi nyo ma-estimate. Balikan natin yan later. Who are the major players? And what are the growth prospects for this particular industry that you choose to belong to, because this is the business that you decided to set up. Determine the need for additional products and services that are distinct from what is available today. Siyempre, if all the needs of that market are already served or overserved, it is more difficult for a new entrant to come into the picture. Okay. When you talk about your competitors naman, evaluate the competition according to SWOT. Now, I don't think there's anyone in this group who who does not know what SWOT is: strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Evaluate your products in the same way. What are your strengths, your weaknesses? What are the opportunities open to you, and what are the threats? You know that among all the frameworks that we encounter in business planning and in marketing, it is the SWOT that is a constant. It has been constant over decades. So I did a little bit of digging, and I found out na it was invented in the 1960s. Okay. Ganyan na katanda at ka-reliable ang SWOT. Hanggang ngayon, parang ginagamit pa rin ng business leaders ang SWOT. So why was it first invented? It was invented by a management consultant from Stanford named Albert Humphrey, because the Fortune 500 companies needed a guide to plan business that was practical. No? Yung practical and actionable. So even to this day, if you do a strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis, it's still practical because it tells you exactly what you need to do. No? And lastly, of course, on the competition, you take the customer's perspective and you plot yourselves alongside competition. This is a simple diagram of the SWOT and the definition. The common error is that we always interchange weakness and threat, no? Or inuulit natin yung threat as weakness, yung strength as opportunity. As a guide, we should always think, ang weakness and strength, internal yon sa atin. Ang threats and opportunities, sa labas. It is what the environment presents to us. So for strength, what advantage do I have over other brands? For weaknesses, what makes other brands better than my product? For threats, what can do potential harm to my business? And what are the favorable conditions naman ang titignan natin for opportunities? Now let's put this to a test on a brand that we're all familiar with. And this is Coke Zero. Okay. So sabihin natin, meron bang weakness ang Coke? Parang wala naman. No? But in a study done on food and beverages recently, we see that maraming ang strengths. No? And the number one strength is the brand. It leverages on the giant Coke brand. Meron din weakness. Ironically, the weakness plays against the strength that Coke set forth and identified as a strength of Coke No Sugar. It is supposed to be safe and healthy, pero hindi siya popular because it is aerated. It's a carbonated drink. Opportunities abound because it's a large company. They can leverage the brand Coke successfully. And they can also have the resources to definitely advertise more. Diba? Everywhere you go, Coke can easily be present. It's omnipresent. And strictly speaking, they can buy out the competition. Ano naman ang threats niya? Okay. Threats would be the newer drinks. They may be boycotted by health-conscious people. And there are substitutes available in the market, such as fresh fruit juice. So if you were a new entrant, plot yourself and identify your strengths. I'd like to point out a relatively new brand called Right and Light. It probably found as a strength, no, for the brand, which the others don't have. Right and Light comes in many flavors, and it actually claims that it is all natural. So something like that is what we can do. So we may ask ourselves, we may say to ourselves, Coke yan eh. Ang Coke, maraming pera yan for research. How do I get the information? I'm just starting out. I'm an entrepreneur. So I don't have the budget or the for that. Okay. Whatever it is, you still need to have a clear understanding of the industry and the specific market. Namely, what do you need to know? You have to substantiate the strengths from your company. Include any data and statistics and industry trends that are relevant to your business. Show what other businesses are doing and how they are succeeding or failing. Include a market analysis that visualize your target customer, how much money they make, what they buy, what their buying habits are, what services they need, and what their preferences are. You detail naman how your products can address these needs or present a response to consumer wants. Ang kulit mo, Cherry Kaluya eh. I'm not Coke nga. I don't have access to research. I don't even have the budget. How do I get market and competitive data? Online. There's so much information online. This is the age of information, and it's available instantly. You just have to know the correct sources. Buy, consume, and experience the competition. Go to their stores. Talk to their people. Observe the customers, the consumers, and how they interact with other brands, how they behave when they consume other brands, when they use other brands. And going back to talking to competition, you'd be surprised, no? Let's say you have a hardware. If you go to a competitor hardware and chikahin mo yung sales lady, sabihin mo, ano ba yung number 1 na pintura dito ang mabenta? Pag sinabi niya, ano po, Paintwise. And you've never heard of Paintwise. Paintwise talaga, number 1 yan? Opo, number 1 yan. Bakit po? Pag hindi siya nakasagot, isipin mo, meron itong sales incentive for the frontliners. Pag sinabi naman niyang Davis or Boysen at kilala mo yung brand, no? Then you can assume na, oo nga. Then you can go on to ask, bakit kaya mabili? You would be surprised how much information they would be willing to volunteer, even if you ask them for supposedly confidential information. Tanungin mo, nakakailang galon kayong benta ng Boysen paint? Pustahan tayo, sasagutin niyo. Mga ilan din sasagutin niyo. So you can also get a wealth of information just talking to the competition. Talk to industry experts, talk to target consumers, and do the research yourself, even if you don't have the budget. And I'll show you how. You can conduct your own quantitative research online. And you can create, establish, and form your own research team. Online, I'm a fan of SurveyMonkey for quick and informal surveys. It's quantitative, it's free, and as a marketer, free is one of my favorite words. And then it already tabulates and summarizes the data for you. So if it's small base, you need the answers right away. It's a fairly simple way to do your quantitative research. Qualitative, yun na yung talk to the consumer, talk to the competitors, to industry experts. That's where you will get your qualitative research findings, no? And observing customers is not a new technique, no? The ethnographic research has been with us for over 2 decades now. It's really helping because walang off guard ang ating mga consumers. They don't know that you're actually doing research. So to the second point, hire your research team. You can actually partner with groups that need to do work for small and medium-sized companies. There are many students who are assigned an end-of-term paper or their thesis or their end-of-SEM group project. No? You can work with them to help them come up with a real case that will be very useful. Why? Because they can actually see where their efforts will go. Or you can get interns to do research for you. Interns, I'd like to remind you, They're not free. You have to pay them. The DOLE requires that you pay the equivalent of 70% of the minimum wage for interns. So if they're hourly, you just compute the hourly rate after that. But working with students is a win-win situation because you help them with work that is fulfilling, that is useful, and at the same time, they help you by generating the data that you need. You know, a long time ago, I worked with Mark Prof as a mentor, as a volunteer mentor. Mark Prof Foundation is a boot camp for graduating students who want to go into marketing as a career. And some of the case studies that we had back there was from small companies who didn't have really a marketing or a research department, but needed to solve a marketing and sales or sometimes operations problem. And they partnered with the Mark Prof Foundation, and you have brilliant students who come up with a lot of ideas and a lot of recommendations. And if you look around, the big names in the marketing and business development field actually came from the Mark Prof program. But enough about that. Okay. So sometimes you think that more data might lead to more confusion. That's why we try to demystify the business plan. We try to simplify, because what is important is where you put yourself or where you see yourself versus the competition. Okay. Let's now go into a summary. Okay. If it's tight in the market, you create a space for your product or service. Okay. Never mind if it appears to be a very small segment, if it is something that will allow you good returns on your investment, and it will not require you to spend a lot of resources beating up the competition, then maybe that space you need to explore. Identify the best match between your consumer need or want and what your relevant proposition is for the consumer. Okay. Next, we go and talk about the third component, which is resources. Okay. What's a lean framework for a startup? Ano ba ang kailangan pag mag-umpisa ng negosyo? Of course, you need people. You need physical assets, depending on your business, facilities, equipment, raw materials, documentation, very important, especially the controls. And of course, you need not spend all your resources on physical, on setting up the organization. That's one of the pitfalls of startups, no? Especially the ones started by people who found themselves starting out in big companies. When you work with a big company, you have the HR department, your treasury, your finance. It's complete, no? Sometimes when you start your business, you try to become a mini-me of big business. Let's not do that. It's not necessary. Remember, these are functions and roles, and they can be outsourced. And that was how my consulting firm strategized. No, we make small businesses see that we can support you without you incurring significant overhead. There are a lot of strategic partners you can work with. Basta ang importante lang is clear ka, according to the type of business you have, you can prioritize people or physical assets. Next is the marketing plan. Now, the marketing plan is always an interesting discussion because everybody thinks that marketing is glamorous and exciting. It is, it's exciting, but it's not glamorous. It's a lot of hard work. It explains your plan for reaching, acquiring, and retaining customers for your business. Ano ang components? I'm sure you've encountered the 4 P's of marketing. Nung 4 pa lang sila, product, place, promotion, and okay. Pero naging 8 na siya eh, nadagdagan ng positioning, packaging, people, But my favorite of all is the new A, the new P, which is purpose. Dumagdag yan sa place, packaging, promotion, price. The orange one is positioning, hindi na nakita sa screen, and people. Purpose is actually the eighth P. Why? Because studies have shown that people prefer brands with aligned corporate purpose and values. And this is not a purely local concept. No? In fact, across all 25 countries surveyed in 2021 by Ipsos Global Trends, 70% of consumers said that they will buy from brands that they believe reflect their own values and principles. So it's important for us to consider an eighth P of marketing nga siguro should be purpose. So concretely, what goes into the marketing plan? The market, the competition, the consumer, the product, the pricing, strategies and program, and the metrics. Now, what you include in the business summary, the business plan, is up to you. It can be the complete marketing plan, or it can be a synopsis of the marketing plan. For example, the strategies and programs can be not too detailed, or it can just be by objective. But what's important is that we measure results, which is the last item, the metrics. We usually forget to measure the effectivity of a marketing plan. So again, let's take a look at this from the small and medium enterprise perspective. I'm a small business owner. How will I measure the effectivity of my marketing plan? Siguro research na naman yan. Gastos na naman yan. Itong si Cherry Kaluya, wala nang ginawa, kundi paggastusin ako ng paggastusin. Wala nga akong budget. Nag-uumpisa pa lang ako. Okay. There are ways to do this. Certainly, sales is an indicator, but it is not the only indicator. Measure buzz. Are people talking about you? Whether good or bad, you have to put your ear to the ground and see what they are saying. The good one, the good buzz means that you are gaining goodwill in the market. And word of mouth is still the most effective way of promoting a product. It's a testimonial, no? So you have advertising, you have digital for awareness, but word of mouth, what people say online and in person, that's also important. Negative is also important. Why? Because it gives you a chance to improve. It tells you what people find is wrong about your product. Mahirap kung minsan tanggapin yon, lalo na pag pinintasan ka. I have a client, chef, who's very passionate about his work, and he feels bad whenever a dish is criticized and tends to be on the defensive. But if you look at it, negative feedback is very healthy, especially if you put it to good use. Establish the brand DNA early on in the business. Remember that the brand is important to the business, and that, sorry about that. The brand is important to the business, and that more importantly, you shouldn't keep it to yourself. You should make sure that everyone in your organization knows what your brand stands for. Next component is the sales and operations plan. These are your strategies, objective tools, processes, support systems, and metrics that you need to hit your business sales goals. To create a sales plan and operations plan, you need to understand the purpose of your business, who your customers are, where to find them, and what sales process you will have from start to finish. Just like the business plan, there are many available structures. No? You have to find the process and the plan that will work for you. But these are the basic components that I think are important. Firstly, prospecting. You have to know who your customers are. preparation, the tools and materials that you will need, how you will handle the sales, and closing and fulfillment of the sale. Many people take for granted that sale is complete when the product is delivered. So those who are in sales here in this group know that a sale is not complete unless you have collected. I will take it even a step further. There is after sales, no? Even if you don't have to service the product that you sold, you have to get back to your customer and get feedback. Para yung objections, masagot mo na sa product presentation and they cease to become objections kasi napangunahan nyo na. Okay. Ways to build your plan, you can either establish a sales target, set your profit target by estimating the cost that will take to meet a sales goal, or you can go with a projected sales forecast based on industry sales trend, on how the market is growing. You might want to align your sales forecast in the same way. Lastly, the financial plan. Now, to those of us who are not in finance, this may seem like it may seem daunting, no? Parang nakakatakot, hindi naman ako finance. Guys, I'm in marketing and I really appreciate what a good financial plan can do. There's no getting around it. You really have to learn how to read financial reports, invest in yourself, and enroll in a course for such as finance for non-finance professionals, no? What should your financial report tell you? It tells you where the money will come from, where it went, and where it is now. If you look at the financial report that way, it becomes more customer-friendly, more user-friendly, and less nakakatakot, no? You need a financial plan. Why? Because you need to have a snapshot of the current state of your business. You need to be able to set expectations that are realistic, and you need to manage your business better because you're able to make sound decisions. More importantly, it makes you attractive to the investors. If you have a good financial plan in your business plan, then it shows you that even if the figures are not that big on sales or on profit, the fact that you have a concrete financial plan shows that as a business owner, you are aware of the risks, you are aware of the upside, the opportunities that are available to you in terms of generating more revenue and generating more profit. So if an investor takes a look at your plan and sees that it is realistic, then you stand a better chance of getting more investments from partner stakeholders. Okay. Kailangan lang realistic, no? Kasi sometimes we drive sales na and we start thinking that it's realistic, pero halimbawa, one classic example is if you project to sell more than what you can actually produce, no? It's not realistic that way. So what are examples of some of the financial reports that would be a standard inclusion in any business reporting document? Target gross sales, what are your expenses, what are your gross profits, what are your obligations before the net profit, and what is your break-even point? Very important for you to know break-even point because you might be overextending yourselves and find out that the break-even point gets more elusive over time and it actually affects your ROI. Now, as I said earlier, ROI normally is talked about in terms of years, no? Number of years. Ilang taon ba ROI ng negosyo mo? But actually, technically speaking, an ROI is a percentage. And it allows us to see if, as an investment, maganda ba ang ating negosyo compared to other options in the market? Compared to if I put my money as an investor in the stock market, mas maganda ba ROI nun kaysa dito sa negosyo na to? Or how about the bank? people, let's forget about putting money in the bank because the interests are really much, much lower. No? So you can benchmark based on the percentage ROI, but there's also such a thing as the annualized ROI, which actually shows you how many years it will take to get your money back. Needless to say, a higher ROI means a healthier business. But on your first year, maganda na yung for you to break even or minimal loss, and maganda rin if you make a little profit, no, in your first year. That is realistic. So some samples of the financial reports include sales forecast, P&L, cash flow, balance sheet, break-even analysis, and ROI. I cannot go into detail on these right now, pero kailangan talagang aralin ninyo. I took a course under Mansmith and Fielder's coach program, and it was very useful because we were taught to read financial statements and to tell the company's story based on its financial statements. So what's next? Let's just summarize here. So the executive summary is a comprehensive view. The market describes the industry and the competitors. The resources detail who are the people behind the company, who are the key decision makers, what kind of organization, etc. The marketing is all about the 8 Ps, sales and operations programs, how do I get my product to my consumer, and the financial plan, what is my what do my financial prospects look like? Okay. I press the wrong button again. And how long? How do I get the data for my business? So we talked about this. I just want to summarize. You get it, information online, market checks, conversations with the consumers and competitors and industry experts. You list what you already have for your resources and include what you need. For the marketing plan, you consolidate information that you have from your market study, ask experts, and outsource. For sales, do trade checks. Talk to the consumers and the competitors. For finance, invest in yourself, learn, and get a consultant. So what is often overlooked in a business plan? This is the last, but I think very important part of our discussion. This is one thing that I'm sure you've heard and I often hear. Naku, wag kayo magne-negosyong na magkakaibigan kasi magkakawatak-watak kayo. That's a myth. Some of the best business partners are actually your friends. Hindi yung friends niyo yung mali. It's the plan. Why? Because probably you did not identify properly your source of funding, which is important in a business plan. Kung personal money ninyo, lalo na. Clarify rules. Parang let us not have people pointing fingers at each other na, ay, sabi niya, tapos hindi naman niya ginagawa yung sabi niyang gagawin niya. Agree on work ethics. Ano ba? Will we meet once a week? How many hours a day will we spend on this? And more importantly, have an exit plan. Exit plan to save your friendship when the business problems come up, and also an exit plan when the business succeeds. Because as you grow, hindi na yan pwede na kayo-kayo lang. You will need professional help from professionals in the industry. You will have to hire managers for the business. So have an exit plan and make sure that it's clear among friends. Pero hindi naman totoo necessarily yung huwag kayong magnegosyo kung magkaibigan kayo. Okay. Make mistakes but make them early. Yes, I agree with them. However, it never hurts to have a plan B. Develop contingency plans. Now, many people keep on citing Murphy's Law. If things will go wrong, they will. Yes, that's okay. Accept it. But make it right away. Because you have to be able to identify and anticipate potential problems and respond with agility. The good thing with small and medium companies, medium-sized companies, is the decision makers, kayo yun eh, the business owner, no? So you can decide fast. I have a small speech and tutorial center which I run with my sister across Ateneo in Katipunan. It's called Study Pals. And when the pandemic hit, we were among the first speech and therapy centers to go into teletherapy right away. So nag-lockdown ng March, no? April, we were already online. We equipped our teachers with what they needed. And then we announced to our students and our parents that we were going online because we knew that the market would be closed and that kids will not be allowed to go out. No? So agility, anticipation, the quickness of, that wasn't our mistake, but nobody was prepared for the pandemic. No? Ito, very common to, and it hurts me as a marketer to hear this because normally when sales are good, people say, ganda naman ng benta, saka na yung brand na yan, mahal yung brand na yan. Okay. I'd like to remind everyone that top performing products and brands in the world are those that have the best brand value. And building the brand starts where the business begins, okay? You've heard of vision, mission, values. You have to find a way to incorporate this into your business plan. It's not in the format anywhere, no? But you have to spell it out and you have to make sure that everyone in the organization understands what it is. So what is it nga ba? The vision is what you aspire to become. The mission is why you exist or what your purpose is. And the values are your core principles, your beliefs and ethics. So in short, it is your aspiration, your purpose, and your set of principles. And lastly, my business plan is my Bible. I hold it sacred, but it is a living document and it is in your hands. It's not static. You can write one, rewrite one, assess, execute, recalibrate, and repeat, okay? Because it is your business plan and it's your business. But take time to write your business plan. Your business plan will plot your road to growth and success. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with this funny thing I found on TikTok. You know that guy? That's Jack Ma, Alibaba. I'm a fan of Jack Ma. But he said something on TikTok which either was taken out of context or was totally wrong. He tried to box people in according to their age bracket. First, he said, if you're 20 to 30, you join a company, find a good leader, and learn from that company and learn from that leader. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can do that at any age. Then he said, when you're in your 30s, if you want to do something, you go for it because you still can afford to fail. However, at any age, go for it because you can afford to fail at any age. He said that when in your 40s, you just should stick to what you're good at because it may be dangerous for you to try new things. I'm sure you will agree that's so not true. And yes, I agree with him. When you're in your 50s, spend time to mentor and develop people. But you can do that even if you're younger or if you're older. And lastly, sabi niya, pag 60s ka na, 60 to 70, mag-enjoy ka na lang sa mga apo mo. Do you agree with that? No. And why? Dahil best local leaders of business are perpetual students regardless of their age. And as a fact, the life expectancy for Philippines in 2021 is 71.41 years. Alam mo naman, 10 years ka lang nag-enjoy sa mga apo mo and you're no longer productive. Which leads us to the insight that the senior segment is a growing segment. So that's an opportunity for you. There might be takers in this group who might want to pursue a business or service, a product or service that caters to this age bracket. It is a growing segment and an increasingly empowered segment. Okay. So let's get ready for the world, even if you're really seeing yourself as staying put in the Philippines. At the very least, you see yourself as world-class and ready to compete with all the other brands internationally. So this is Cherry Kaluya saying, love local, grow global. We don't have time for a Q&A. However, I'm posting my email addresses here. If there's something that you need to ask or would like to consult me about, I'd be more than happy to help you. So this is Nakakalocal, the business plan essentials. I'm terribly sorry I went over time by 3 minutes. Okay, but before we go, I would like to say thank you to all our participants. I appreciate your sticking it out on a Friday afternoon with me. I hope you were able to learn something from our discussion this afternoon. I'd like to acknowledge also our sponsors and partners who made this workshop possible. Nakakalocal Ready Set Negosyo was brought to you by the Philippine Star in cooperation with Toyota Ortigas Malls, Robinsons Malls, SM Supermalls, Vista Mall, All Home, Coffee Project, All Day Supermarket, and RCBC Discartec. Of course, with the support of San Miguel Corporation, PLDT, Trimotors Technology Corporation, SGV and Company, Entrego, and Multisys. Also with our partner organizations, DTI Philippines, Go Negosyo, Ayala Enterprise Circle, Pili Ani PH, Rush, Yabang Pinoy, Vernview, Learn, and Startup Village. And with our media partners, GMA7, ABS-CBN News, One News PH, and Page One Media. Again, thank you for joining us in our workshop here at Nakakalocal. I am Cherry Kaluya, and this has been Nakakalocal Ready, Set, Negosyo. Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend. Bye.
In the Philippines, SMEs are no small matter. With the challenges of the recent years, we want to help SMEs bounce back, grow, and succeed. The Philippine Star, together with its partners, gives you Nakakalocal, Love Local, Grow Global. Nakakalocal is an advocacy program that will shine the spotlight on SMEs. By showcasing their products, we will encourage more Filipinos to buy local. By featuring our artisans' craftsmanship, we will spread the word on Pinoy skill and creativity. By mounting specialized events, we will empower and motivate entrepreneurs with the right tools and insights to make their business grow.
Nakakalocal is the latest initiative by the Philippine Star with the purpose of contributing to nation building. We believe SMEs are vital drivers of economic growth in the Philippines, and so we plan to support them by offering ourselves as a platform for their creative products and their inspiring stories. We are excited to promote SMEs that are developing products and services that can stand the test of time. We want to connect with businesses eager to put the Philippines on the global map with their own creativity. We want to work with companies who can best represent our culture, history, or identity in what they make and promote. More importantly, they have to be ethical and socially responsible entrepreneurs who support sustainable practices in their operations. Nakakalocal is for every SME that wants a door of possibilities open for their growth and expansion. May Nakakalocal be the first of many future endeavors that inspire more Filipinos to support local brands and for the Philippine Star to showcase the ingenuity of our nation's world-class talent.
Our goals are simple: get more Filipinos to buy local and get more SMEs to go global. Nakakalocal can be the partner you need to grow your SME. Know more about us.
Kaibigan, katuwang at kasosyo, welcome to Barangay Ascenso! Ito po ang pinakabonggang pasabog ng Toyota Motor Philippines.
Ang new Toyota Light Ace ay nagbibigay sa inyo ng mas maraming inspirasyon para umasenso.
Ngayong araw na ito hanggang sa linggo, makikilala natin dito sa Farmers Plaza ang bago nating kasosyo sa asenso at katuwang sa negosyo, ang bagong Toyota Light Ace.
Samahan niyo po ang mga kaibigan natin dito sa Toyota Motor Philippines, dito sa Farmers Plaza. Nandito po kami mula today hanggang July 17. Bisitahin niyo po kami, kilalanin ang bagong Toyota Light Ace. Kasosyo mo sa asenso, katuwang sa negosyo.